to VO Journey Academy Live. My name is Anthony,
I'm Gabby.
and we are voice actors.
We are indeed.
Hi, how are you, Gabby?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm way too energetic for a Thursday. I don't know what that's about, but I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna embrace
Right,
it. Yeah,
embrace it. I love it.
absolutely. I'm excited to talk today about our topic and about
Microphones.
microphones and
Yes. Oh
first,
yeah.
as always, let's do the things, right? Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Yeah. Chat with us, talk to us, ask us questions, tell us where you're from. Come be a part.
All that jazz.
Yup,
Yes.
yup.
So today
Mhm.
microphones.
Yes, we talked about
Um,
interfaces for a couple of
yes,
days,
we did. It was a
and
great
now
conversation.
I think so too. I mean,
It was a great conversation.
we could have kept
We
going.
could talk forever. I mean, yeah. I mean, so much of this stuff we could just talk forever on it. You can keep
Yeah,
talking about it because there's so many, and there's so many unique stories that people have about their specific situation.
there is.
Um, but today we are
Mhm.
forging ahead to,
Yeah.
honestly, one of the most fun part. One of the probably most of us view as one of the most exciting and geek out most on is the microphone. So we're
Or
going to be talking
terrifying,
about
depending on which side
microphone.
of that coin you sit on.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
true as
very
well.
yeah. Um, but
So microphones.
yeah,
Where do we
oh
start,
my
Gabby?
god. I
Where
don't
do we
even
start?
look,
I get. I see how I asked you that.
okay. Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
I
All right.
preempted it. I preempted
All
it.
right. I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna be I hate this.
Uh
Gonna be a
oh.
little controversial.
Uh
So
oh.
look, I have yet, me personally, I have yet to see a USB mic that I believe delivers,
Mm-hmm.
but you have had different experiences. So why don't we start there? Why don't we start with USB mics and price points and what you think are quality in that category?
Okay. Yeah. Sure. I mean, so as everybody knows, or if you didn't, I actually started with a USB microphone
Mhm.
in my business. And honestly, it was for the two reasons. One, I didn't really know much, and two, my wife would have killed me if I spent more than $40 on a new random venture that I was trying out. Because I'd love to try out
Mrs. Chica
people
making
like
the
Gabby
play.
knows me now. But funny thing is Gabby and I are like peas in a pod because she's the same way. But we're like squirrel. We're like, ooh, we got an idea. We got an idea. Let's do it. But anyways, so yeah, so I got the blue snowball,
Okay.
the snowball mic, from
Mhm.
the same company that makes the Yeti,
Yep.
and it's like it was a round ball,
Yeah.
and it did have quarter-inch threads, so I was actually able to put it on a microphone stand,
Oh,
instead of like a stand on your table.
yeah.
And the funniest things, I didn't even know what there was buttons on it that you push, and all I knew is that it made it louder. I had no idea at the time. I had no idea what it was. I mean, it was kind of crazy.
It's hard to imagine you being a babe in the woods, but I mean, yeah, we all
I
start
just
somewhere, right?
and then well, that's when I didn't even know about pop filters, and I was like, and I seen something about pop filters, and I'm like, I can these noises, and then my wife was like, you could use my pantyhose, and then that's where we built that,
Hilarious.
that micro or the pop filter out of a wire coat hanger and pantyhose, and I just
Right.
wrapped the
Right.
wire around the mic
Yeah,
stand.
it works.
I thought I was so fancy. I really did. I was a fancy Nancy. I loved it.
Oh,
I know people are just I'm just silly right now, but when we're first, I know like you're in that if you're in that first starting out phase, you're like, gosh, I want to get past this, but I promise you, down the road, you're gonna look back. It was so innocent then, like everything was just so
exactly.
like, oh, it's so special. Look at me, what I've done. I
It's so you
that's
thought
how
you
I
were
felt.
you thought you were making I
I
man make
thought,
fire.
exactly. I thought, look what I have done. My wife's like, it's pantyhose, man. I'm like, but look.
Oh,
So
oh,
anyways,
I can't. Oh my god,
yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah,
great.
yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I think we all kind of feel that way at
Of
some point about
course. Of
something we're
course.
putting
Of
together,
course.
right? But anyways, so yeah, so now, unbeknownst to me, my audio stunk. Okay, so that's just in all fairness, I would say stunk because as you go through the years, you will start to just hear as you grow the different quality of microphones.
Of
And at the
course.
time, what happens with USB microphones, I did try out a Blue Yeti
Mm.
and they also have a Blue Yeti Pro. That's and they have these things like that, and there's also some other ones that what is the fi if
Mm.
anybody knows what I'm talking about, it begins with an F. It's fine. I don't know what it's anyways. It's a more popular USB microphone if there is one. And the thing is USB microphones were making a move in a short
Mm.
period of time, and
Yeah.
it was expected that they were going to continue to get much better, and at some point be able to maybe get up to the quality of a lot of the XLR microphones. But I'll be honest with you, it is just now I'm not in the USB like world like maybe
Mm.
other people are anymore per se, but they have just thank you. Yes, thank you, Rich.
Be fine.
Hmm.
Sounds like P5
Yeah. It's in our coffee today.
I don't know. Trust
But
me, I
but
don't know.
anyways, the point is I'm trying to make is it hasn't really caught up. They just
Okay.
unfortunately it's not caught up, and it's not really forging ahead in my opinion. Because I've worked with a lot of people with USB microphones, and what
So,
happens is that it's there's a lot of noise. There's always a question: why does my audio sound
mm,
muddled sometimes? It doesn't sound as good. I want it to sound as good as these other things, and the reality is that it's just not going to do that. That doesn't mean that I'm not saying pack your stuff up and hit the highway.
well,
You know, do what you. Yeah, go ahead. Do you want
well,
to?
so is there a USB brand or mic that you recommend? Because there are some voice actors out there, and there are some schools of thought where there's a couple. There's a couple I hear people mentioning, and one of the reasons I don't pay a lot of attention to it is because, like, why would I go backwards? You know what I mean?
Sure.
Um,
So there is like so the oh I'm sorry. So the Audio Technica, right? The AT
mm,
Audio Technica makes a couple like the AT 2020. There's a couple of
that's
microphones
the
that are
one I hear
hybrids,
about. Yeah.
that also have a USB and an XLR microphone.
Hmm.
But Audio Technica makes some good ones, and of course, Rich had saying the Fee Fine. I'm always like, is it finite? What is it called? But anyways, that one was popular. That one's a little more popular because it's very easily portable, and
Okay.
it's kind of small and
Yeah.
easy. But yeah, but I would say probably the most popular one in there is that AT 2020, and then they have like a Pro. You can what I mean, and they're you can upgrade them. So that's probably, in my opinion,
Mm,
the most popular ones.
okay.
Besides someone is using a Blue Yeti.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Um,
So those are some decent options.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
So what's a step up from there, right? If we upgrade to an XLR, and guys, if you don't know what an XLR cable or input is, go look it up. I would show you, but then I would disconnect my microphone and you wouldn't be able to hear me. So that would be defeat the purpose. I don't have one just, handy right now, but it's a three-pronged cable.
Mhm.
And it is traditionally how microphones are connected. And it is how you connect it to your interface and then subsequently your computer. There is no direct connection. There it is. There is no direct connection with a XLR. Your computer does not have an XLR port. That's not a thing. So again,
Mhm.
this is where interfaces become critical.
Mhm.
So what do you think? What do we have on that, that lower end, that beginner end, that more affordable? I think everybody has their answer here, but go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. A lot of us will probably, for affordability, you'll go to Amazon
Mm-hmm.
and you'll see the Amazon Basics cord, right?
Mm-hmm.
That for an XLR microphone, and you'll think,
Yeah.
hey, it's just an XLR cord. Everything's gonna be fine.
Well,
And and you can get them for, I mean, depending on how long you need it. You know what I mean? You can get it
oh
for
no, I'm
under,
not talking about the cable. I'm talking about the mics themselves.
Oh, the mics. I thought we were talking about the
Mhm.
cable. I was
No, no,
too
no.
busy like thinking about the cables
Yeah,
here.
no, no.
Okay. So you're saying the first mic, oh, the on the low end
Mm-hmm.
microphones, the
Mm-hmm.
first beginning microphones.
Yeah.
So, I recommend, I've recommended it a lot, and it's the Rode NT1,
Yeah.
and not the Rode NT1A. I got the Rode NT1A because it had a fancy kit And special
Mm.
anniversary edition. I didn't know any better, right? And when I bought it, that was the first mic I bought after the Snowball.
What is the
Um,
difference between the 1 and the 1A? Why
so,
don't you recommend the A?
and this is a perfect question because now we're going to get into just briefly what makes mics different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And each microphone, all right, is it's not digital, so I don't want to use the word
Mm.
programmed, but let's just use that word.
Okay.
Okay, it's programmed to have different responses in different frequency ranges. So, for example, you know how you can turn up your bass and your treble in your
Right.
car. You
Right.
can turn up these things. Well, the microphones have different. They can do the same thing at different frequency levels. They can be higher or lower. All
Right.
right. So on the Rode NT1A, it's a very bright microphone, very bright. Meaning, when we say bright, it means on the high end, like your higher frequencies that where your sibilance is,
Mouth
things
noise.
like that. Right. It's very it's has a boost to it, has a dB
Ah,
level boost to it.
okay.
Yeah. And the Rode NT1 does not. It's more of a even keel there. It doesn't have that huge boost. So I really recommend the Rode NT1. One, it's affordable. Now here's a little kicker. If you want an affordable microphone that is cheaper than that and really does not get its due, all right, is the Bumblebee. So I love this microphone. It has there's the Bumblebee, the King Bee. The company's called B
Hmm.
microphones, and they're XLR microphones.
Hmm.
And I wish I have one. It must be in there, but
Never
because I
heard of
bought
them.
one, it is
Okay.
so cool. But they're XLR microphones. They look like a little bee, kind of. They've got the little things on it and little stripes, and they come with a built-in pop filter, and they're really good microphones, but
Wow.
they're really all word of mouth. They never do any advertising.
Huh.
But I'd gotten mine for under $100, and I was testing some out, and I was really amazed by it.
Wow.
So there are some. So that's a really good one too that you can get into. But again, I want to point out that these are great starter microphones,
Right.
and but we always want to look at upgrading. So Gabby, as we go to, we've got our starter microphones. And by the way, you might have. Oh, real quick. Just to point out, sorry,
I love
is
watching
that
Anthony Squirrel.
right? Is that in the starter microphone arena? Okay, now I got my cord here. In the starter microphone arena, you might have a friend. I've worked with a lot of voice actors. I'm sure you have. Gabby's like, I got a friend who
Mhm.
knew somebody who's got microphones, and they gave me this,
Right.
SM. They gave me this Shure 58, 57.
Right.
And I love it. And I've worked with people who use them still, and so there's the 57 and 58 from Shure. These are like, I mean, bread and butter microphones that have been around forever, that
Yeah,
are
the
the ones you see in
The
massive
SM7B, I mean,
concerts.
yeah.
But they're not. One is for more vocals, one is for like guitar, more
Yeah.
instruments, right? And but they're dynamic microphones.
Mhm.
So it actually, if you have an issue with noise currently in your house or where you are, it's a good idea to look into a dynamic microphone. And those are still, even to this date, now I haven't checked in the last couple of months, but they still are under $100, I think, like $99. You know what I mean? But they have just been, they like what, since the was 70s or 80s, I can't remember when
Mm.
but I mean, they have been like,
Yeah, they've been around for a long time.
amazing things. But
Yeah.
people, I have some students, I think today, who still, a couple who use them
Mm.
because everybody has. I mean, like, you find them
Yeah.
even secondhand. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And they don't break. I mean, they're
Mm-mm.
very.
They're
You can see
very
even they
sturdy.
be dented on the
Mhm.
top, but they still work very well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyways, with that, Gabby, let's talk now. You've got your starter microphone. Where do we go from here? And
So, I
and
mean,
when do we go? Right? Like, when
yeah.
do we upgrade?
I think two things start to happen, right? You upgrade A when you can afford it, right?
Yeah, right.
When
That's
you've
yeah,
made your money back on
that
at
is
least
the
the mic you
truth.
already have. B, when you're experiencing noise issues that you know are a direct result of the microphone and you know that that's the only way to fix it.
Mm,
And C, really when you have a better idea of the improvements that you want to
mm,
make and the things that you want to minimize and the things you want to maximize inside of your studio because because we get it all the time. People are like, "What's the best microphone for voiceover?" And I'm like, "I don't know." Like, that's not a thing, right? Everybody's studio is different. Everybody's situation is different. Their house
Our
is different.
voices are different. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's no one size fits all, you know, answer to this. So you do have to kind of have an understanding of what you need. Um, like, you know, so I think those things are pretty important,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll kind of get a sense of that as you go. The mics that you hear about all the time, the microphones that other studios, right, that high-end clientele sort of require, if you will. There's one of three mics that you hear about all the time, or there's three mics, I should say, that you hear about
Mm-hmm.
all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
The TLM 103, which is a Neumann microphone,
Right.
the Sennheiser 416, which is a shotgun microphone,
Mm-hmm.
and the Neumann U87. Now, technically, all three of these microphones, same manufacturer. Neumann Sennheiser is the same company. They're German made,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Yep.
They
Yep.
merged a few years back.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so clearly they are the leader, right? They are at the top of the board. Above them is a company that people are less familiar with. Oh gosh, why am I drawing a blank now? It happened to you, now it's happening to me. They start with an M.
You talking about the microphone that I happen to have,
Is
Kathy?
it? What is
Yes, they're called Manley.
Manley? That's it. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
the Manley C. Yes, Manley.
Yes.
And Manleys can get very expensive. But people, again, they don't know them as much, but they are also a great mic. So it's at some point you will most likely be working towards one of those three that I just mentioned.
Yes.
And some people are very crafty about finding replicants or mics that sound almost identical to those mics from a knockoff company. And if you do, God bless, go with it, right? That's amazing. Yay for you. There's no problem with
Oh, and
that.
they also have the modeling microphones,
Mm-hmm.
that are more expensive than you'd say the 103 and the 416,
Mm,
but way less expensive than the
U87.
U87.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, where they model, basically what it is that it's you get the microphone and it will model those microphones like it is
Yeah.
supposedly.
Right.
I've never tried it out, but I've seen people say that it,
Yeah.
but anyways, yeah.
And I mean, look, the other thing I think is, you know, by the time you're getting up into those mics, you should have a much better understanding of pattern and direction and how, you know, mic patterns work, what sort of a pattern you need and why. And I think my biggest tip or advice when it comes to the whole conversation of microphones is test before you can buy, if at all possible, whether it be going into somebody else's studio, talking to other voice actors, right, getting a music store to set up a listening display for you. Try to test beforehand, see and experience yourself with that microphone. And the other thing is, don't be afraid to buy secondhand. Many of us have bought incredible microphones this way.
Yes.
There's
Yes.
nothing wrong with it. Again,
Yes.
as long as you have a little bit of a guarantee that if it doesn't function, you can bring it back. Pawn shops, music stores, any online marketplace to buy, sell,
And just being
exchange.
around voice actors, like for example, in VO Journey, we have a channel in our Discord that's for people just selling their equipment.
Yeah.
I mean, when I moved and built my studio in my house,
Mhm.
I shouldn't have done it, but I did. I sold my whisper room, right, and everything, and because this stuff holds value. But I had a gentleman contact me the other day saying he was getting out of voiceover and he had a Sennheiser 416 and wanted to sell it. I mean, it happens a lot.
It
A
does. There's
lot.
always gear. There's
Yeah.
always gear for sale. And so you just have to be savvy and keep your eye out. And my only advice there is know where the mic came from and how it was used. So the only mics I shy away from are microphones that belonged to gigging musicians who toured,
Yeah,
because
to
those
just put
mics,
them through
oh my
it puts
God,
you
the
so much.
abuse.
Yep,
Yeah, the abuse.
exactly.
The wear and tear is epic.
Yes.
But anything else,
Mhm.
it's no issue.
So
Let's look at the chat.
yeah, I was gonna say we got lots of stuff in the chat. All right, so let's see. Love those squirrely eyes, Gabby.
What are you
was
talking about,
that
Miriam?
was
I don't know
earlier.
what you
Oh
mean.
yeah.
What are you talking about?
Let's see. I got Chris said I got a $50 XLR microphone from a friend, but I'm dialing in my processing and mastering.
Yeah,
Cool. Rich
tweak it. You never
said,
know.
let's see. Good afternoon, everyone from Kansas, Florida. Roughly at the beginning of my video journey, DIY booth and USB microphone. I'm experimenting with LibriVox to hone my skills and techniques. I love it. Sage, now that you're a part, because I was reading some of your stuff, now that you're part of VOJ and Academy Voices,
Mm.
you should work with, Audition and Academy Voices because again, it's just as I guess you call it safe as it's just as safe as LibriVox because we're all running it and you can make some money.
Yep.
So it's perfectly safe and we're all part of it. So it's not like there's somebody you don't know who's running it. So okay, let's see. We had somebody. Okay, somebody did have. Oh, here we go. Let's see. How much weight does having a male lower register voice as opposed to a female higher voice factor into what mic we upgrade to post beginner mic? Currently using the Blue Yeti.
A lot.
A
A
lot.
lot. A
And
lot.
Gabby does a lot on this, especially in our Vojo group. So
It really just comes down to the fact that male and female voices operate on a different frequency level. And so men have certain sounds that, again, they want to minimize, or it usually works like this. Guys want a brighter mic to help offset their natural bass. And
mhm.
so it doesn't sound like they're recording in a dumpster, right? I mean, because
Right.
basically that's what you get, this very boxy sound.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
women need a lower end mic that depreciates or lowers some of those high frequency responses that make them very sibilant and clicky and that kind of, just make everything a little too bright. So, yeah, there's a big balancing act there.
A lot of like so for example, the Sennheiser 416
Mm,
become very popular with low voices who, for example, trailers, things where it
mhm,
was that, in a world kind of voice,
mhm.
as it just brought that mic brings a lot of warmth, but also brings that little higher end brightness so that you still get a crisp sound, but still the warmth of that bass in your voice. So, a lot of these microphones do these things, right? And, it's important to know that.
And it's a
Yeah.
shocking thing too, because the 416, you point it at your chest. You don't even point it where your sound comes from. You point it at your resonant cavity, the place where the rumble comes from, which is a very bizarre thing. But based on that microphone and its patterns, it works. Now, I have seen women or heard women on 416s, and I've gone, ooh, not great. Not great. Not always the best mic for women.
The reason why I like a 416 is because you can, again, the microphone was made and is used very heavily in TV
Yes.
and film because it's a shotgun pattern, which is a very
Mhm.
narrow pattern,
Mhm.
and it can really cut through and have a long range, like a long range of pickup.
It is excellent at filtering
Yes,
background as
yes,
well. It is
exactly.
if you have a noise issue, a 416 is an epic investment. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, we had it said, Sage, it said, are there certain mics that work better for us ladies?
Yes. Yes, this is what we are talking about. I mean, basically, I tell women to avoid anything that's really, really bright. Like the MK4, which is another Sennheiser product, tends to be a little too bright for women. I have seen problems, same thing with other popular mics. I tend to lean women towards the 103, which is
Hmm.
a little bassier, but again, because of the fact that it picks up so much background noise, you have to make certain that you've got a good studio. The RE27 is actually a great mic for women because it adds a little bit more bottom, and a little more rumble.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
nice for that. So yes, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No, great questions. And I think and it's similar to the Shure SM7B, right? I mean,
Mhm,
it's kind of
mhm.
those two are like the dueling
Yep,
microphones there.
yep.
But I think thank you guys so much. I mean, this is a great topic that, again, we
Mhm.
could really talk and we only covered the
Oh my God.
main microphones that everyone is going to hear about, even if from the beginning, right?
Liver.
Because I think some people have mentioned, said, but the Behringer, there's so many companies, so many different microphones, and I think in the end, the point is exactly what you said, Gabby.
Mhm.
You know, Amazon can be a great way. Sweetwater is a great company to work with, but it's good to try to work with a company or a place that will let you, I'm not saying abuse it, but will let you get a microphone, maybe, and you're testing it out, and in 30 days you can return it if it's not sounding the way you want it to sound.
I think it was Sweetwater, and I don't know if they still do it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did. They used to have like a mic test kit. Like basically you
Mm.
could buy you weren't buying it. You were giving them a deposit, right? And they would send you a demo microphone that you could borrow for like a week or two and
I
decide
don't
if you
know.
wanted it,
That's
and then
awesome.
you could ship it back. Now, your deposit ultimately, the idea is, of course, that your intention
Right.
is to buy a mic at one point. So, but it gives you a chance to test out a couple of different brands, which is great. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, you guys, it was a great time talking to you about microphones.
And
Tomorrow,
we will never
mañana.
have them again.
What do we do mañana?
Well, I think we can probably continue a little bit of the discussion about mics, and of course, it's Open
It's
Forum
Open
Friday.
Forum Friday.
Mhm,
So remember, that means you come, bring your questions about anything. Doesn't matter
mhm.
what we're chatting about. You can ask
Yeah,
anything.
yeah,
And we will do our very best to answer. That's
we
right.
will try.
And last but certainly not least, we just put out the new schedule for this month for
Mhm.
VO Journey. For example, Sage was over there talking about voiceover Angela, and the Platinum Group has joined the VO Journey family, and we're so excited. And we are just open arms, welcoming everybody back to school time for us to learn and grow as voice actors. So check out vojourney.com and join today.
Yeah.
There's lots of exciting things we're doing and learning. So, all right. Well, there you go. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody.